Fiance's best friend is our roommate, and he hasn't paid rent in 5 months. 2 days ago was the breaking point. This is my first time ever having a roommate, but oh my god, it's been an awful first experience. Me and my fiancé live with his best friend, and for the past 5 months, we have been covering rent entirely for him, all of the food in the house, we have bought ourselves, all of the toilet paper ourselves, any gas we pay for, water bills, electric bills, etc. You get the picture, we pay for everything while our roommate hasn't spent a dime. We had all stuck together because we were all homeless previously, to anyone wondering why we tolerated this for so long. On top of not paying for 5 months, he takes 2 to 3 hour long showers in the only bathroom in the entire place, and when he leaves his hair on the shower walls and the floor is drenched with water, and whenever he uses the last of the toilet paper, instead of refilling it or telling us we're out, he just lets us find that out, once it's already too late. He sleeps until 3 to 6 p.m. He has never cleaned the house once, he never keeps his portion of the house clean, and whenever me and my fiancé spend quality time together he gets extremely pissed off, and says he feels lonely and shut out. He hasn't had a job in 8 months, and was getting upset I applied him for jobs and scheduled the interviews myself to ensure he would pay rent. Keep in mind he is $4,200 in debt to my fiancé: rent, car repairs, food, fun money, etc. We are officially moving to another place at the end of the month, and he just told us he couldn't pay for rent. Again. Here's how it went down. So, 2 days ago I had gotten the news my grandma is dying, and I was sobbing next to my fiancé. Our roommate heard this and said his apologies. I told my fiancé I was going downstairs to get some water, and the moment I went downstairs, my roommate started screaming at my fiancé about how the $200 my fiancé gave to him wasn't enough money, and he needed an extra $60 for car repairs. My fiancé told him he couldn't afford to give any more money because we are moving, and we saved up specifically our portion of the move and not his, because we told him over a month ago to get a job and get the money for the move rent because we were tired of paying for a third person. We are his roommates, not his parents. Our roommate screamed about how he has no money. He got $300 from his dad, and he gets work from my fiancé's dad, so we know exactly how much he makes. He should have been close to $1K by now, and that the car he was borrowing from his dad needed to be returned and he needed to fix his car. My fiancé told him sorry, but we just needed to save money, since it's 8 days before we move, and besides, our roommate owes us, not us owning him. Also, my fiancé told him we can't afford to pay for a third person anymore, and needed to start paying the rent for us for the next few months to catch up on his debt. Our roommate got extremely pissed, and told him that being in the military was better than living with us. My fiancé's dad died in the military and he knows this, to go suck his DCK, and he called me, that fiancé of yours, when the roommate and I have been friends for over a year. He also had the audacity to say that he wasn't the one in debt, and actually in fact we were the ones that owed him $4,200. My fiancé asked how what expenses, and our roommate could only name the Little Caesars pizza and $3 app purchase my fiancé made 3 weeks ago, and my fiancé showed him the receipts of him already paying both back, and our roommate said my fiancé was still in debt to him. Anyway, so my fiancé gets extremely upset and goes to the backyard to cool off. I have PTSD. I have told my roommate to not stomp around, slam doors, or scream because it immediately triggers my PTSD. Well, our roommate decided it was great to start stomping around and slamming all the doors he could in the house. He knew I was downstairs and could hear, and then slammed the front door. 2 seconds later he comes back in, slams the door again, and he has a mutual friend of all of ours on the phone screaming about how my fiancé is a pose, how he flaunts his money. He told him how much to say we couldn't afford another person. He was saying how little money we had, and that he was full of himself. So much shit talk while my fiancé wanted time to himself, and not to talk to anyone. Ever since then, our roommate has been extremely hostile. At 12 p.m. he was extremely chipper, and said good morning as if nothing had happened the day before. I just said hi and went into my room since I was extremely upset with his behavior and the way he shit talked my fiancé, not to even mention the one job I managed to land him he missed his first day. After I had left, he got extremely upset and started stomping around the house and slamming any and all doors he went through, especially the front door, since he knows it's directly underneath where our room is. He said hi to my fiancé, and my fiancé reciprocated, and then our roommate immediately ran downstairs and slammed the front door and didn't come back for an hour. We both had to go to work, so we both left. When we both got back it was around 12 a.m., and since we hadn't seen each other all day we decided to spend quality time in our room with the door closed. We get a text immediately from our roommate that we are being too annoying with our laughing, and we need to quiet down. He was trying to sleep, he had no work the next day or anything, all he does is sleep in until 3 to 6 p.m. and plays games all day, and we said sorry and quieted down. Around 1 a.m. he texted that he could hear our phones, my fiance's was half volume, and I was 1 decibel above mute, and that we needed to turn our phones off and stop hanging out. Immediately after sending that, we hear him slamming the bathroom door, then slammed the front door, and texted my fiance he was going on a drive to clear his head, and to get away from us and our phones, like. Our unemployed roommate who hasn't paid rent in 5 months, acts like we are his parents, when it's convenient for him, but then he tries to act like the man of the house, and set rules for us when he's pissed and also hasn't paid rent in 5 months like WTF.